Simon and Levi here from Three Dragons Sports Bar in Hoi An, bringing you the AFL wrap for the first 5 rounds. We haven't been with you for the first few weeks. We promised that we'd have a chat at some stage, and so here we are. Having a beer at the same time, just go through the ladder from top to bottom, talk about a few games, and talk about our teams and see how we're going. All right, so
start off with yours right away.
There you go. Lions. I'm to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't lost a game. Last year they started so slow, and it took them a while to get into it. I think that they've been behind at halftime a couple of times, and
most games,
so they've just got a team that once they get going, they're hard. They're hard to beat.
I reckon I'll pick against them for Thursday. Up at the Gabba, but it's against the Pies. So,
you're an idiot.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
What?
We'll see.
What?
Okay. It's going to be in upcoming tips.
All right, I'm going to have a sip of beer because you're tipping against the Lions at the Gabba.
Oh yeah, I am. But yeah, you can see. Actually, I nearly got a perfect round last round, which means we're back dead even. But yeah,
one game off.
Four shafted me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lions looking good. Looking good. Probably do a loss, but we'll see.
Okay, yeah.
No, they've been good. They've been undefeated, solid. Like looking, we kind of really expected like they'll be a top 4 team this year, and they look like
the top 4 team. Like at the moment, I don't see another team actually like they haven't played their best. Yeah. They have not played their best. They haven't played an 80-minute game yet. Well, not maybe a couple of them, but they were against lower teams. Man. They're going to be hard to stop for minor premiers.
Yeah, they're looking tough. And then, we got the next Queensland team.
Suns. I mean, look at that. Queensland. There we go. 2 Queensland teams, top 2. Look, the Suns last year were horrendous away from home.
Yep.
Did they? I think they won their last game.
They won one game.
One game. I think it was their last game of the season away from home. But they won just about every game at home. And it was if they just learned to win sometimes away, then they're making the 8. That's all they needed to do. And so far,
so far, I think them beating the Crows up at home, but that was a good win.
It's only 4 games in because they've had the bye. So
they had a good win over the Crows.
I'm not sure if they're going to sustain that. I think that, but.
They beat the teams they're supposed to beat and had one good win out of the 4. But
and winning away from home. Yeah. They've won a couple away from home.
Yeah, they beat the Eagles down in Perth and they won at the Chiefs.
That's all that they needed to do. They're start to win a couple away from home and they're in the 8.
Yeah, they're looking solid.
GWS coming up next. So I had them, around this position. I think I had them first or second. I think first.
They're looking good.
Pretty solid. I think them and Lions are the 2 teams that they're probably going to definitely dominate that top 4 position all year.
Yeah, I think so. The 2 teams I expect to be up the top of the ladder most of the year.
Yep.
Kind of same with Collingwood. I think Collingwood they haven't been that convincing yet, but I reckon
I didn't. I think I had them in 9th position, just out of the 8. But they're definitely playing a bit better than what I thought.
No, I think they're solid. They're going
to have a pretty solid year.
They'll be there and about, so they'll be in the mix.
Then down to the Hawks, next team down. They had a disappointing game. But that's just that playing. They play a pressure style of football, and the valve has got to release at some stage. It's so hard to keep that up week in, week out.
They were super impressive the first 4 rounds, and then absolutely dismissed around 5. I'm still high on the Hawks. I think they'll be there and about.
Totally. That was just. I think that was just the loss that they needed to have. It's a young group to keep that pressure week in, week out.
Tough.
They're
looking good, and them against the Cats on Easter Monday is going to be a cracking game. So if you're on, make sure you come in, watch it. Going to be best atmosphere anywhere in town. It's going to be cracking.
Wow, that's going to be a massive game.
It's going to be a massive game.
Which goes on to, they're the next one down. The Cats, your team.
Yeah,
so they're
bit of a mixed bag. Bit of a mixed bag.
But
couple of solid performances.
Did I have them in the 8? I don't know. I think I had them in the 8, but
I'm pretty sure you had them in the
5 or 6. I think I had them around 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're looking okay.
they've got another home game at the G.
the last, yeah.
That's
But
home game at the G against the Hawks.
It's all right though. Like they'll have a crack, but
you've got to win on grand final day.
But if you look at the last game they played down in Adelaide against a pretty damn good Crows team, and dominated, and like Dangerfield looked amazing, Cameron looked amazing. Like they stepped up.
I just started my round off bad last week. Isn't it the worst thing? Losing the first game of the round, you just know that you've got no chance for a perfect round.
Yeah, but you should know the Cats got the wood over the Crows. That's
but I thought the Crows at home anyway.
But yeah, I reckon the Cats are out of the kind of top 6 at the moment. I think the Suns are the one team you look at and go,
they're probably
there and about.
Suns are punching a little bit above their weight, I think.
But then you look at the other 5 teams that are up the top. They're kind of the teams you kind of expect to have a crack at the premiership.
And then we go next one down, the Crows. You know, like against Geelong. You know, while we're talking, you know, and it's looping in there, they're doing all right.
They're okay.
I had them. I think in number. I think I had them in the 8. I think I had them at 8. They're a solid team.
They're right. Like
home, they like it at home, even though it didn't go well for them.
Yeah, I didn't really rate them too much coming into the year, but they're looking all right. They've got some exciting young kids coming.
Definitely, they'll be one of the teams that I don't think are in the top 4, but they'll be around that 6 to 12.
Yeah, they'll be there and about.
Like they should make the 8, but there are some good teams behind them that aren't in the 8 at the moment. That will start putting a lot of pressure on.
Freo. Just kind of saying, like,
just hanging in there, doing that.
There and abouts, like
like
unexciting.
I had them out of the 8. Just
I think I had them in the 8, but they're like that's kind of
they've got their home ground advantage, and they'll be in that 6 to 12 position.
They're okay.
They could easily make the 8, but again, there's a few good teams coming up that we'll talk about. St Kilda, they've stepped up. They've won a few games. What are they on? They're on
3
and 2. Well,
3 and 2.
Well, 3 wins.
3 wins. Oh yeah, they're
3-2. So just out of the 8, 9th position. They've been playing well. I've tipped them to actually get an upset win on the weekend.
Who do they play?
They're playing. They're doggies, the Bulldogs. So that'd
be interesting. Yeah, I mean
that's going to be tough, you know. So I think if it was later in the year, maybe I'd choose the Dogs, but I think Saints just got a little something about them.
They're okay. I don't rate them too much.
I don't think they're going to make the 8, but
they'll win a few.
It's good to see them step up just a little bit. So
then Swannies,
a little bit disappointing. I think they've had a lot of injuries.
They're all right. Like I think they'll come all right. They'll be in the 8, most likely. Maybe not.
Well, they're one of those teams, good teams that aren't in the 8 that will have a press, but if they don't, get their injuries right, then maybe not. Like maybe there's some other teams have evolved just a little bit better, and so that'll be interesting. It's hard to get a read on them at the moment.
Yeah, I think just injuries. We'll see a few more rounds.
They're one game out of the 8. They're there and about.
Port.
Again, another one.
Yeah,
Port, Doggies, definitely. Like they're two of those other teams which we had kind of like around that 9, 8, 9, 10 position.
Yeah. I think the Doggies, they've been winning games without their biggest stars, so it's boding well for them. I reckon they got something going there. They'll be there and about. Maybe not quite good enough to make the 8.
I think they're just out of the 8, along with Port.
Port, I don't know. Port is weird. I'm pretty high on Port. People seem to be really down on Port. I'm pretty high on Port, but
again,
so
one game out of the 8.
Average.
There's teams pushing.
Bombers. Yeah.
I mean, they're on the same points as a few teams above them. Again, one game out of the 8.
But I'll probably throw the Bombers in. I'll probably throw the Bombers in with the Roos.
The Bombers will beat a lot of those teams, but lower than them.
Yeah.
But how many of the teams above them are they going to beat?
Not many. I think the Bombers. The Bombers are just like
they're not. The Bombers aren't beating a top 4 team, are they?
No.
Like that, they are not.
No.
beating a top 4 team.
No.
Not even probably top 6 team.
No.
They will beat up a few, lower teams.
They're beating up the teams that are kind of behind them. There might be Carlton. That's about it.
Well, moving on to Carlton, the next team got a win on the weekend, so who knows? They could get a roll on, but they've had a few injuries and been average on that last quarter.
Been looking, I don't know,
so unvossy.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tend to think Vossi should have them fit for the last quarter. That was that was the Lions' trait.
No, but
back
it wasn't even just the last quarter. It was like basically the whole second half. Most games, second half, they just disappear.
Maybe this is like the Lions last year. Start off slow and build and get to peak fitness. I hope that maybe that's what they do. I'd like to see them move up the ladder, just because I love Vossi. But
disappointing start for sure. Yep. And if they lost on the weekend, he would have been out of a job most likely. I think.
So then we got North, and then Tigers. So they've both got a win, but they're doing these two teams are doing their best to not get the spoon.
Yeah,
we dropped off. Yeah. The Tigers as getting the spoon. I think the Tigers might be able to beat the D's.
Maybe the D's might actually be the pick for the spoon. Them or the Eagles.
I
mean, the Eagles the Eagles are probably a worse team, but at least they're probing. Where the D's just kind of.
The Tigers have shown some signs. They might
win more than one game.
Yeah, I think that they're definitely. Will cause a couple of little upsets here and there.
I still think the Roos can probably get to about 5 or 6 wins for the year.
Yeah, I think I said 3 for them, Aaron. Yeah. I think our bet is 3.
Yeah, I think they can get to 5 or 6. I looked at their draw last week, or on the weekend. I had a look at it, and I think they can get to about 5 wins, maybe 6 push.
Tigers maybe 3. I reckon about 3 wins each for the Tigers, and the Roos are about it. Melbourne will probably get 2 or 3 as well. I think Eagles will be lucky to get a win. So anyway,
that's about it. Yeah. But so far so good.
Yeah,
Lions are looking pretty.
Yeah,
Cats are looking alright, and
there we go.
There we go. And
so
check out our weekly tipping videos in the little short format, quick and easy. We'll do another wrap in about 5 rounds time or so. If you like this kind of content, like, comment, and subscribe. And obviously let us know down in the comments below. Good luck with your team for the next few rounds. We'll have a catch up again in another 3 or 4, 5 rounds. We'll see, whatever we're free. It's reasonably busy at the pub at the moment. And if you're in Hoi An, make sure to drop in and watch the footy. And if you do, and if you're a viewer, say hello.